Well, hey, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Uh-oh, what happened? Something happened there. I don't know what happened. What's going on with the video? Can you guys, am I live? What's going on here? Oh, I got him on a delay here. Ooh, rough. This is rough going, dude. Rough going. Okay. Apparently, I opened up two channels and I'm on some kind of delay as I record. And so anyways. Welcome to the live stream. I hope all is well. I'd like to start off with, if you wouldn't mind helping me with the copyright strike that I got. And it was from I got it June 1st, and it was I put the video up, and it was I got it June 1st, but it was for a trailer reaction that I did in 2017. 2017, and I was like, I have no idea. That's 3 years ago. I have no idea what this is. And so I emailed them and asked them to please reconsider. And in lieu, I won't react to anything else of your properties at all. And we'll see what happens. So I'm asking you guys if you wouldn't mind emailing it, because when I had the issue with Penn Studios, you guys rocked it. I mean, you really, really rocked it out hard, and I really, really so superly appreciated it. So if you guys would just send an email to them, because there's power when you guys decide to start emailing it. I really appreciate it. So, and I'm going to make that an outro. Hi, Rubik. How are you? I'm going to make that an outro and just to remind people, because we don't need any copyright strikes going on here. So let's talk about, this is what we're going to do today. We're going to talk, love you too, bro. We're going to talk about the LAC. We're going to talk about, I guess we can talk about George Floyd. I don't know why I'm going blank. I'm going to do one thing though. I'm going to go get I'm going to get another drink here. This is a complete mess up. So I started the video early. I'll be right back. I need to change hats. I'll get a drink. Please bear with me. I'll be right back. Here's a topic for you guys to discuss amongst yourselves. Let's discuss, I don't know, what happened to Priyanka Chopra. Go. Okay, thank you for your patience. I really appreciate it. Only one person quit. That's not bad. I had to get a drink, had to change a hat. This hat really wasn't working. It was just too floppy. It's my floppy hat, my Army issued floppy hat. So let's talk about the LAC. Boy, oh boy, man, is China out of control. The troop buildup, the videos I'm seeing, the reports I'm seeing, and it really looks to me that China is trying to deflect over the COVID-19. And because we all know, as the facts come out, that China knew about this virus, and they waited to say anything. And the presupposition is the presupposition. The presupposition says, if I can speak right, means they knew this, and they were going to do this a certain way. So they knew that they were going to take a hit in their economy of 30%, that they would lose 30% of their GDP, and which means they would fall behind and other nations would catch up to them or pass them. And they didn't want that. So they made a calculated decision to let the virus out and infect the world. So maybe everybody goes down 30%. So we're all tied. So, if I lose my job and you're my neighbor, I don't want you to get ahead of me. But if I can get you fired, then where is she? I cannot hear. Where is who? Are you asking about the Warrior Queen? Can you guys not hear me? I'm not sure. Can you guys hear me okay? How about now? Can you hear me? I don't know what's going on with the mic here. Let's see what's. I don't know. Anyways, um, that if you lose your job, then hey, you don't get that far ahead of me, right? You don't get that far ahead of me, and yes, you can hear. Okay, great. And then we're equal. You know, you're not buying a new car. You're not doing these things that make me feel bad or whatever the issue is, right? Whatever the issue is. So China did that on purpose, and America was really gearing up to kind of address this. They're doing their own investigation. They've pulled completely out of the World Health Organization, and they said we're going to start our own. Screw you all. Screw y'all. We're going to start our own. And so that's what we're going to do. And so that was going to be the impetus of dealing with China. And Mike Pompeo, who was in Congress, who worked on the committee, Foreign Intelligence Committee, he was the CIA director, and Hindi talking, and was a CIA director, and now is the Secretary of State. Came out and said we're going to fix China's wagon. And then the George Floyd incident happened, right? George Floyd happened with the looting and whatnot, and China then began to do the LAC border buildup. So we see this massive troop movement, the massive troop movement. Um, so that's kind of what's going on with LAC. I got a bunch of videos again of LAC material that I'm gonna react to and I'm gonna put up. But I also, if you would look at the regular video page, I just put a video up asking for your help. I received a copyright strike from a company that I never heard of, and it was a trailer 2017. When I saw the copyright strike, I was like, "This doesn't look familiar. I don't remember what it was." And so I found the company and I went to YouTube and said, "Hey, this is fair use." And YouTube's like, "We don't understand what you're saying," which is like a ploy because they don't want to really do anything about it. And but maybe we'll see. And maybe I got to include more information into my email. And so I reached out to the guy who issued the complaint. I guess he's some kind of producer. And said, "Hey, listen, I didn't mean any disrespect to you. It's a reaction channel. They're kind of popular, and we're just trying to promote your film. And if you would please remove the copyright strike, I'll be happy never to react to anything from your company again. That's not a problem." And so we'll see what happens. So I'm asking you guys to email him. So if you find that video, there's an email link from him, and we'll see what. I am under the water. Jean LaRoe, I've seen that video of the Indian dude who says, "Help, hello, how are you? Help, I am under the water." Which film was it? Oh, I can't even say the name of the film. I'm so terrible at it. Um, oh, what was the copyright strike? The guy's name was Deepak Mukut, Mukut. In the film, oh man, I don't even remember what the film was. You guys, I'm gonna pull it up. Let me just bear with me. Let me pull it up on the email. And then after we go through this, we'll get into the rioting and looting and whatnot that's going on in America. I'm pulling up the email right now so I can tell you what it is, what the film was. Okay, it's not open. All right. Yeah, it's not open. All right. Yeah, but I feel like I should be doing something to entertain you guys while we wait for this. Uh, the guys, man, this is taking forever. Well, it was a film from 2017, and I don't remember it really getting a bunch of traction. Like it wasn't a big film like this film has gotten so much traction and it's just doing gangbusters. Um, And so basically, when you get the copyright, you appeal to YouTube, and you can also ask the person who draw the copyright. And they have talking to copyright. Where did everybody go? What happened, man? Is it because I was looking for the emails? Anyway, so let me go ahead and read your comments, and then we'll get into the George Floyd, George Floyd murder and whatnot. Warrior Queen is sleeping right now, very, very early here. They are looting American stores. Casey Ho, hello. Yes, they can hear me. What else? Include India in the G7 group? Sure, why not? I think that would be a good idea to do that. Banning most products made in China. Yeah, that's something that the Warrior Queen has done for a long time. She would never buy anything from China. And if we can't find anything that's not, she just won't buy it. She'll figure something else out. Jean LaRoe, did I get it right? I Am Under the Water. Yes, apparently I got it right. I don't remember the film. Let's see. Say something valuable, things to speak other than your nonsense, just stupid crap jokes. Who are you referring to? Are you referring to me or the Under the Water guy? I don't know. So many days of riot, and they're just taking advantage of it. They are. Who's the guy, the white guy, DP, who says stupid things, always criticize him, acceptable, and don't say jokes? Who is the guy, the white guy, DP? I don't know. Trumpy. I don't know. Tumpy. I don't know what you're referring to. If you could specify. So the riots and looting are going on. My son's a reporter, and he's been out covering it in Phoenix, and he got shot with a rubber bullet, which was kind of scary. President Trump has come out and said, "Listen, I'm giving the governors and mayors a chance to get this under control." Hello, Andy. And if you don't, I'm going to send the troops in. There's a law from the 1800s called the Insurrection Act. And what that means is the president can declare an area as insurrection, and then he can move government troops in to put it down. It hasn't been used since the 1800s. It is typically the army can't do anything against citizens. It has to be the police or National Guard underneath the care of the governor or mayor to call them out. I will tell you right now, there's something here in America that they call the sleeping giant. This is a very, very true thing. It's something that you're hearing some of the talk radio hosts talk about. And the sleeping giant are people who are middle class, gun-owning, peaceful. Typically, they are ex-military, and they're afraid of. Well, thank you, Small Town Films. I appreciate it. They are ex-military, and there's a concern that they're going to rise up because the rioting and looting that's going on in America is typically Antifa, and it is an organized. You can see it's clearly organized. I was watching reports last night where before the protest begins, let's say your protest is going to start at 7:00. Okay, 7:00 p.m. We're all going to go protest in Delhi. Somebody is dropping off pallets of bricks in the street on the sidewalk for you to use, and they're also leaving containers of glass with alcohol in it and rags, Molotov cocktails, all ready to go. All you got to do is just grab what you need and go get it. And that's not this isn't organic. This is very much, I would say, very similar to the CAA protests that you would see happening, that they're clearly trying to push an agenda. They're trying to push for anarchy, and that's so do some vlogs inside the house. Can you? Yes, I think so. Is that what I'm doing? I think. I don't know. So that is sorry, I get distracted by the comments. I'm really, really sorry about that. So Trump is saying going after that, and they're really concerned. They're really concerned about this sleeping giant to stand up, because when the ex-military of America show up downtown, it's over. Game over. They'll outnumber everybody. I don't know if you guys remember, this may be going back 10 years, but there was a period of time, I think it started with a guy in Denmark who worked for a newspaper, and he did a political cartoon in which he showed Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad. I think it was. And it was kind of a satire piece of Muhammad. And Muslims in his country began to riot. And somebody ended up killing the guy over it. Like, they caught him in the street and they killed him. And then it started happening where then other people were like, we shouldn't be killing people because they did a political cartoon. Like, that's just not acceptable. So other newspapers would do these political cartoons of Muhammad, and it would cause a big riot. It would cause a bunch of Muslims to show up and protest and, raise havoc and scare people. And so then the newspaper would issue an apology and pull the cartoon off and say, we're sorry, here's a donation to, I think CARE is the biggest Islamic I guess they would be technically a charity in America. I don't, people then will argue over how charitable are they. They would make a big donation to them and then be like, okay, that's good, but next time don't do it. So it happened in Phoenix, and it happened at a place downtown Phoenix, and there was a big Muslim march that was coming on Phoenix because they weren't happy about this cartoon, and they were threatening and doing this this protest. None of their protests turned violent. But they, there was an implication that they could, and people were like afraid. Except in Arizona, like 100 men showed up with AR-15s and guns, and the protest went, we're sorry, we feel afraid for our lives. Please do something. The police said, "Well, it's Arizona, dude. This is what we can't do nothing about it. They ain't doing nothing." And so, that's what it kind of reminds me of. And I think, like, the area where I live, it's heavily, Arizona is a very big state. There's a lot of, Mesa's a huge town. There's just a lot of area, a lot of open desert. And a lot of people are armed. And it's going to be really, really hard to really, if you take your rioting and your looting and you start breaking off into neighborhoods, you're going to run into a problem. I'm not aware of the 40-minute conversation between Trump and Modi. I'm sure that has to do with the LAC, but let me check into that. Maybe we can do a video about it. I was giving suggestions because you don't react to the Indian Army now. Lakshmi, yeah, I do. Well, I do, but some of the stuff just nobody watches, and and so I'm trying to figure out what I should be reacting to, what people watch. I think we'll probably get away from movies, just because that's where the copyright strikes and cricket tend to come from, and maybe we'll be focusing more on military. I just put up some LAC videos that are doing pretty well, so that's, I guess, to answer your question. So Andy says, how did they get the guns? Who got the guns, Andy? Indians are divided on George Floyd issue. I think anybody who resists arrest gets harsh handling for cops. Many Indian leftists say U.S. cops behave differently when it becomes black. Please share your view. Well, okay. I think what I will tell you is that there were how did the protesters get guns? The protesters get guns. Probably they just brought their own guns. America, it's pretty easy to get guns in America as compared to India or other countries or Russia. There were 2 autopsies done on George Floyd. The first autopsy was done by the state. The family came out and asked in a news conference if this guy, Dr. Michael Baden, would do a second autopsy. And he is a very famous forensic scientist. And when he shows up in court cases, it's like, oh, he's got some good evidence. Like, because he just blows things out of the water and explains to you the science behind it. And so he did the autopsy. And he said, doing the autopsy, the first problem that we have was there was an officer on his back that was kneeling on his back. And what that did is it prevented the diaphragm to expand and air to get into his lungs. The second issue you have is the cop on his neck that begins to cut the blood flow and oxygen in the esophagus. And so because of the stress of the situation, this amount of pressure on him started reducing his air intake from 100% to, let's say, 19%. That means the heart's got to work a lot faster. The heart is trying to pump its way out of this, and unfortunately, it didn't work. He lost his life. He died. I suppose technically the death was asphyxiation mixed with a heart attack. I guess he just slowly suffocated, which I can't imagine any. I almost drowned once. And it was the most terrifying thing when you can't breathe, right? It's the most terrifying thing that they when you can't breathe. So that's what happened, and it's a horrible thing. I think when you look at George Floyd, there's two issues here. There's number one is George Floyd and the police, and then the protest and looting. So let's start with George Floyd and the police. George Floyd should not have been handled like that at all. I guarantee you, if I got pulled over for this wouldn't have gone down at all. They say that he resisted, but I saw no evidence of him resisting. He was a big dude, but I saw no evidence of him resisting at all. Always comply with the police. I've told my son this ever since he was little, like 6 years old. Don't ever mouth off to the cops. If they ask you to do something, do it. You may not like it. Keep your mouth shut. Better to do that than to die. Because you just don't mess with them. Don't mess with them. If they tell you, hey, sit down, sit down. If they tell you to be quiet, be quiet. If there's something that's gone down, you document it later. You want to get out of that situation as quickly as possible. It shouldn't have happened. He allegedly passed a phony $20 bill at a Target. That is a process crime that you could have caught up to him later on. You could have waited a day or two for it to go on, let him get home, get comfortable, and come knock on his door with some detectives. Hey, we just want to ask you some questions. What did this happen? What was this, right? So the fact that they did that, in my opinion, was just uncalled for. Typically when crimes like that happen, they have to be witnessed, right? The police officer has to witness a crime, unless it's something like a felony, where they can then, by detectiveness, go through it. Now, was this a felony? I'm not sure if it is or not, but I don't. The response to that is over the top. Now, let's get to these cops. Are they racist? Are these cops racist? See, either the cops are racist or they're bad cops, and they just deal with everybody like that. And I'm thinking that that's not necessarily that the cops are racist, that they were like, ooh, cool, we got a black dude, let's pull him out and kill him. I think they're bad cops. And police stations have bad cops. Oh boy, do they. And this is how they would deal with anybody, right? So on top of it, you have the video of these bad cops doing something they probably shouldn't have been doing. And there's a moment in the video where you see the cop put his hand up on the car to balance himself because he's putting all 200 pounds on that dude's neck. What do you think's going to happen? Right? What do you think's going to happen? Do I think that officer woke up that day and said, I'm going to go kill me a black man? Probably not. Probably not. Um, I don't think so. I think they're big cops, man. So so that's the first portion of it. Now the second portion we have is the rioting, looting. In America, are you allowed to protest? Yes, you're allowed to protest. But what is happening here is not protesting. It's thuggery, right? It's crime. It's people coming in. You are very familiar with this. Uh, the JNU University, the CAA protests, where you have a protest that's happening, but people then start taking advantage of it to do certain things. I'm just looking at the comments telling them, why are you bullying up the professor? Who is bullying up? I got to now go back and look at the comments. Let's see. Mhm. Yes, they are, but how can they carry guns? Americans, I mean. Well, it's just the Second Amendment. America was founded with a Bill of Rights. We have the right to assemble. We have the right to bear arms, and a lot of it has to do with the Eastern Indian Company. That's what the Boston Harbor was about. So they can shoot people ASAP. Who can shoot people? Toompi. I'm not sure what you're talking about. George Floyd, when they arrested him, please discuss in small detail. I read a book about the fake currency counter. Do the same. Tell them. Yeah, that's one of the things too that comes up with foreigners when we talk about America is um, the gun culture of America. A lot of countries don't understand it because you don't have it, and it's unfortunate. Well, I guess not for it's just America. It's just what it is. It's things are set up differently. So what needs to happen, and I'm going to tell you what needs to happen here on these protests are the politicians are going to have to get off their ass and do something. They're really going to have to do something because we're getting very close to the American civilization just being gone. And what I mean by that is when the sleeping giants arise, the law-abiding middle-class people with guns, and they decide to go, okay, here's my problem. I pay a lot of taxes. I put up with your nonsense. I put up with COVID-19. I put up with people losing their jobs. I put up with all your crazy A spending. I put up with all your political correctness. I put up with all these things constantly taking away my freedoms. One of the things you're supposed to do is keep me safe. If you can't keep me safe, then I'm going to take actions into my own hands. And what you will see is a version of what was that movie with Akshay Kumar where he was getting revenge on everybody? What was that movie? It wasn't Ravana. Oh, it was a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. He was like a college professor and he was really good at martial arts and he put a team together and basically he was going after corrupt people. Yeah, and what was that movie? Oh man, I can't remember the movie. What was that movie? Anyways, I don't remember. It's a dark side of America. Some people are just thinking about why you're so advanced and we're in the 21st century and they'd be respectful to anybody. Andy, I missed something, Andy, so I'm sorry. Oh yeah, Gabbar. Thank you. Yes, it was Gabbar Singh. Yes. It was a great movie. I think what you will see is America will slip into that. A bunch of Gabbars will show up. You will see ex-military, Navy, SEAL, Special Forces just go. We got this. The police aren't going to protect you. We got this. We're going to go take care. We're going to go set this straight. We're going to go make this right. And when that happens, it's going to be crazy. Because they will round up crooked politicians. They will round up police officers who aren't doing their job. It's not going to be if you're relying. Listen, if you're relying on your ex-military to restore order, you ain't gonna like what's gonna happen because they ain't gonna be playing around. They're not gonna be going like, "Oh, you want to talk about binary bathrooms?" They're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that. They're just gonna be like, What are you doing? Shoot them." I mean, there's gonna be no it's gonna be crazy, and we'll lose the republic. And you guys know if you've been around any time, I like to talk about end times prophecy, the book of Revelation. I talk about India being the kings of the East. And one of the things that you'll find in end time prophecy is America's not mentioned at all. And I really, truly believe it's because civil war breaks out in America. And I think we're on the precipice of that. I think you're going to see a civil war in America, which is unfortunate because that shouldn't be at all. Right? We should not. It shouldn't be. Law and order shouldn't be. Law and order should happen. Can you? I mean, and then you watch videos about how the police are in India. They wouldn't even tolerate this stuff, right? They wouldn't tolerate this stuff, and it makes me sad. It makes me sad because I see my republic, slipping into the abyss. And I don't want that to happen. I like America. I remember as a kid in 1976, the bicentennial, going and the 4th of July celebrations. Right, I remember doing that, and what a good time that was, and how much fun it was. And and you sing about America. You see the fireworks. You thank the law enforcement for serving. You thank all these things for happening, and it's just unfortunate that that's slipping away. That is going other way. Let's see. Let's see. Hold for review. Let's get into some of these comments here, huh? I'm just backing up the comments here so we can go do some other discussion, sir. Hey, you weird girl, why are you bullying the professor? That's okay, Andy. I appreciate that. I don't think she's bullying me at all. Haters. Why will I hurt, sir? He's genuine like no other channel. Thank you. I don't think that she's bullying. It's okay, guys. I appreciate it. Which political party benefits from these riots? Well, that's a very good question. The Democrats are hoping to. None of the major Democrats have really come out strongly to condemn this. The Republicans are going to be screwed here, because there's talk about in July they extended unemployment here. So in America, when COVID happened and you lost your job, or they made you go into furlough, basically, they paid you, like Arizona paid you, I think $240 a week for your unemployment, in which the average American makes $1,000 a week on average. So it's like a huge pay cut. So the federal government came up and said, well, we're going to give you an extra $600 because we caused this. We asked you to shut everything down. We caused this, and it's not fair for you to suffer over this. And so here we go. Extra $600. But they're saying in July, mid-July, that $600 goes away. People aren't going to be able to make it. America is expensive. Right? They ain't going to be able to make it, and there are riots going on, and it's just like, it's just like this is nonstop. Trump's going to have to do something. He's really going to have to do something, or he's going to lose it, dude. You will have Joe Biden as president, who will quickly. Joe Biden as president. Just, you need to know this, and I'm not trying to be political, because I'm going to tell you right now, I am a Trump supporter, but if they don't extend the benefits, the unemployment benefits, and they don't get control of the cities like in a day or two, I won't vote for them. I won't vote, period. I just won't vote, because it's clear if you don't do anything that you don't give a one rip about the average American. You could give one rat's ass about what happens to real Americans, right? And it won't happen. So what will happen is Biden will win, and I'm going to tell you right now, Biden loves China. he loves China. Like you have no idea how much time and money that him and China have spent with each other. China has given him a bunch of money for his campaign, given a bunch of money to his son. It's just going to be bad news. China will be emboldened if Biden's in. China is hoping and praying. I know they don't believe in God in China, but they do right now because they're praying that Joe Biden gets in, so they can. Biden loves Pakistan, So you're looking at like same old, same old. That's what you're looking at. So, which is completely unfortunate. But hey, you got to take care of business, right? You got to take care of business. What else we got here? It looks like a bunch of Hindi going back and forth. I'm guessing you guys are arguing with each other. It's a dark side of America that some white people are just thinking like, we are so advanced now. We're in the 21st century, and they should be respectful to everybody. I'm guessing you're referring to the police officers. Those police officers are going to be punished. They're going to be punished, man. And I'm telling you what, dude. When a cop goes to prison, they get beat on. They get what in the shower. Like it's going to be on. This guy's life is going to become a living hell. I'm sure if he could wake up and do that day over, he would not. This would not happen. This would not happen. Okay, so we have yes, Garbar was the movie I was listening to. Yes, Garbar with comments. I'd say that same on social media that the cops would have behaved the same way even if George Floyd would have been a white guy by leftist nobody because he was black. And that's kind of the key question because I do think that these cops are dirty. I think they would be a little more careful with a white person because white people tend to be viewed as more credible in complaints, which is unfortunate. The facts should be the facts. Punyet Sniper says, "Hi, Professor. Hello. Toompi, you keep retracting your messages." Oh, it says, it's pretty simple. George is black. I can see the professor. Is no fear in his eyes to kill the person. The police officer. Okay, the police officer has no fear in his eyes to kill the person. I agree with it. I don't. It's just unreal. I mean, at least in India, cops smack you in the face or they spank your butt with a bamboo stick and off you go. But I think to stop the rioting, what they need to do is you guys remember the movie Friday? Remember that? Where they're trying to find the bomber and they're like, any means necessary. That's what America needs to do too. You just start rounding up people who are out there, causing trouble and just pull them off the streets and lay it to them. Let's see. If the death is the black guy is wrong, so looting and chaos is no protests being done. It's a pre-settled cause. I don't know necessarily what you mean by that, but it's a pre-settled cause. He shouldn't have died. George Floyd should be home right now with his family, right? That's not even debatable. But protesting and looting are two different things. Protesting is fine. It's your constitutional right. Learn to spell cashmere. So looking at the comments. Yeah, my suggestion, Lakshmi says breathless reaction. I did one. Oh, you want me to do it with Sergio? Okay. I'll do it with Sergio. Next time I get together with Sergio, we'll do that. Protesting and looting are two different things. Completely two different things. Let's see. Is it in YouTube? Can we watch? Can you watch what? Toompi. Okay, Professor. Stay safe. Stay blessed. I'm leaving for home now. I was at work. See your reaction in the videos and my response in the comments. Namaste. See you. Okay, Andy, be safe. Probably the severe outburst was a culminating result of COVID-19, high mortality rate in African Americans, high unemployment, and finally the old age of racism. She said, "Shut up, old man." Well, I think the lockdown had something to do with it because you had people locked up for 3-4 months and summer's here and people are ready to get out and go do what they want to do. They don't care. America, like quarantine, is like nobody cares anymore. They're just out. And so I think that's partially it. I think there is just the video is disturbing to see, right? Video is disturbing to see. And on top of it, I think it became more of a criminal opportunity. Is when people are watching, hey, they're rioting and looting, nothing's happening. I'm gonna go get mine. So I think that's what it was. Let's see. There was no word for the Democrats. I think Biden missed a good opportunity. Best wishes to American in this channel. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hello, right back at you. No, he can't understand you like me. Yeah, that's right. Oh, wait. Uh-oh, something's going on here. I don't know. The handling of George is wrong, so the vandalism is going on to undercover of protests to save China. Looting, vandalism, the crime always. I agree. And they're talking about how foreign money is coming in to support these protests, and the government's looking at who's sending the money. I got a feeling it's going to be China. I bet you. India made remove China apps, but China made it banned by Google Play Store. Let's see, the death of George is wrong. So this protest of these criminals that are looting is doing is a nuisance. Hello, Yellow Bellow Professor. Good evening. Yellow Bellow. I don't know what that means. Sita, boy, Sita, you're almost spamming, Sita. What are you doing? Toompi, do you support the protest or the looting? Sita, that's a lot of comments. Sita, same thing. Let's see. I was saying my Indian Army suggestion, breathless reaction. Okay, I will do that with Sergio. You got it. Indian soldier that went into the LAC and punched a Chinese officer. Yeah, that's going to be done when we're done here. I'm gonna go for at 5 a.m. I'm going to switch over and start doing the video recordings. Let's see. To my previous question, said whites are viewed differently by cops, and you said that sad part. But should Indians also believe that? Yes, majority of cops in the U.S. who are racist. The majority of cops who are racist. No, I think the majority of cops are jerks. I wouldn't say they're racist. I would say that they're well, jerk's the wrong word. They're authoritative. It's very rare that you come across somebody who is a cop that's not authoritative. Like, hey, I told you to do something. It could come across jerky, but what do I know? I'm not a cop. My heart goes out to the small local businesses. Well, I'm going to tell you what one of the things that's going to be terrible about this is where you see the rioting and looting going on. They're typically poorer neighborhoods. Businesses will not rebuild there. Walmart and Target have said, nope, you burnt down our store? Okay, good luck to you. If you go to Detroit, Michigan, there are no grocery stores in Detroit, Michigan because of this. Years past, they had the same incident, the same problem of rioting and looting. They just said, no, we're not going to open it. Why? You guys come through and steal, and we're not doing it. And it's unfortunate. ISI supporters shot dead in Florida. Some sleeper cells still out there. I didn't hear anything. I'll have to look into that. America has a lot of freedom, which means it's a big criminal state. Well, I think it is it's different. This wouldn't be happening in Russia or China because the government would just start shooting everybody. A little more challenging in America because people have so many freedoms. I've seen in the video that protesters were burning U.S. flags. Is that the kindness they show towards their nation? I don't think they really care about their nation. I think a lot of the people, not the protesters, but the looters, hate America. There's a group of people who are just really anti-American that are out there. All right, guys. I think we got caught up on all the comments. This is a lot of fun. I'm glad that you guys joined me in this. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Police officers here in the UK are much better than US from personal experience. You're right. A cop's issues more than racial. Not saying racism doesn't exist, just overblown. I would agree with that, Ricky D. I think the problem that we had here is that he came across three bad cops who did not like, for whatever reason, his response to their request to get out of the car or whatnot, which is unfortunate. Well, guys, I'm going to get going. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your comments, and this was a lot of fun. Um, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace and much love.